this podcast.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the Cast with Nay. Yeah, I'm super excited to be back on the show, especially when this is the first episode in the year 2023. I mean, it gives me so much joy, and I hope that I know that this year is going to bring so much opportunities and so much goodness to us. Today, we are going to be discussing on the topic starting strong. I mean, what better topic to start the year other than this topic, starting strong. How do you start strong? You need to look back at your past, look back at what went wrong, reminisce on the year 2022 and how you want to improve on the year 2023 based on that. Or what belief systems do you want to change? What mindsets do you want to improve on or upon? So many things that we need to reminisce on and look back in order to make our year 2023 a very great year, and in order to start strong. How do you identify the problems and how do you prefer solutions to them? So what better time to discuss this topic, starting strong? Today I will be having a guest. I have a guest on my podcast. She's Tolu Olukanmi. I'm going to be reading her bio shortly before we delve into the main episode for today. So Tolu Olukanmi is a program manager at Google and currently resides in New York City, USA. Prior to landing her job at Google, she was a graduate student at Cornell University, where she earned a master's degree in engineering management in 2021. She enjoys spending time with family and friends, watching TV and writing. She's also the founder and host of the Non-Immigrant Student Podcast, where she shares her journey and new life in the US. She hopes you enjoy listening to her reminisce about her year in 2022 and that you take away a thing or two that helps you as well. Thank you so much to Lope for that brief but yet amazing introduction. Before we delve into what we have today, we'd love to go on a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after the break. Are you looking for an organization, society, and club that teaches public speaking in its full capacity, as well as leadership skills? One where you can combat fear, build confidence, sharpen leadership abilities, improve improvisation, improve communication, and expand your network. Toastmasters International is here for you. Toastmasters International is a US headquartered non-profit educational organization that operates clubs worldwide for the purpose of promoting communication, public speaking, and leadership. In the same vein, Oyo City Speakers Club is here for you as a local club to support you. We are located in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. For more information, please call 0818-096-9629 and follow up on our Instagram account for details as well at Oyo City Toastmasters. Oyo City Toastmasters, unleashing eloquence.
So, hello Tolu, thank you so much for gracing the podcast, the Cast podcast. We're super excited to have you on the show. We've been admiring you from afar, and finally today we get to meet you, even though not in person, but at least on a one-to-one virtual conversation. So we're super excited to have you, and we love the work you're doing. We see your work, over there in the diaspora, and then your non-immigrant student podcast. So you're really doing a lot, and we really love and appreciate you.
Thank you, Naya. Thank you. I really thank you for inviting me as well. I know that we met through a mutual friend. So thank you for always letting me know that I was doing a good job or not, on Instagram. And thank you for inviting me here today. I'm also happy to be here because I actually believe in the podcast you're also doing for teenagers. So that's something too that was dear to my heart when I was still in Nigeria. So I'm proud to be associated with it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So today we'll be talking about, it's more like an end of year talk, beginning of new year talk. So lessons learned from 2022, how you want to start out 2023, major key takeaways. And I think I'll end up theming this whole podcast session starting strong, because for you to be able to start out strong, you must have done your homework. That's identifying the major problems you had to go through within the last year, and preferring solutions to them. What major lessons 2022 taught you? What's moving forward, what you want to improve on, be better on, and etc. People you got to meet 2022, basically how 2022 has been for you, and then what you want how you want your 2023 to turn out to be. So that's basically what we're discussing today, starting out strong. So if I would ask you, what were your major lessons, key takeaways, what mindset shifts, belief systems? I mean, I have a couple of things that this year really taught me. I really understood the power of affirmations, and that it was not a myth, it was actually a reality. So I had major key takeaways from this year, and a lot of things that happened that, I was not just, I would say I did not imagine that it would happen, but I'm just super grateful. So everything still boils down to gratitude. So how would you describe your 2022? What were your, like I said, major lessons, key takeaways, mindset shift, belief system, etc.?
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you. So the main reason why I really I said yes to being on the podcast was because earlier this year, I had already started a note on my phone on random lessons learned in 2022. So I was also already
like the spirits.
I was like, oh yeah, I can talk on that because I have a couple of things that I had been writing down randomly. I mean, I called it random because it could be from movies, it could be from my friends. It was like I would take notes even from my relationships with people, and all of that. So, and I'm probably sure there's some I didn't write down, but we'll try to get through it today. First of all, who's the audience for this podcast? How many minutes do I have? So I know who exactly I'm talking to.
Audience, like I said initially, young adults and youth. So let's say from 13 to 29, 30, within that range. But yes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fair then.
Then how many minutes? I think we should speak for about 30 to 35 minutes. That's like the whole podcast and
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Okay, so thank you for the question, Neme. Thanks again. Where do I start? Okay, so I've been in planning for 2023. I saw recently on Instagram the 12 areas of life. Even at work, I did some development career class where they broke life into 12 areas, and I wrote it down to share today. So the first one is, I'm guessing most of us here too will identify as Christians. So the first one is spirituality and personal devotion. Second one is health and fitness. Third area is learning and personal development. Fourth one is emotional state. The fifth one is spouse or romantic relationship. The sixth one is parenting. Seventh one is family and friends. Eighth area is fun, rest, and recreation. Ninth one is career, business, or work. The 10th one is money and finances. 11th is your physical environment, so where you live and all of that, or where you school. And 12th one is social relationships and community. Okay. So across those 12 areas of life, I'm also trying to take stock of last year, have done on a scale of 1 to 5, and this is just something I started recently, just because I've been feeling this need to take my life seriously now in 2023. So that's the reason why. So those 12 areas, I'm looking at it and I'm looking at what I can start doing better, what I should stop, what should I let go of, or what should I continue, what should I improve. And in starting strong, I believe that, and like you said, if the theme is starting strong, I believe that if I actually follow through with these things, I will be on a good start to 2023. And in order for me to look forward, I also have to look backward and talk about what in my past do I need to let go of, or do I need to bring along with me?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I'll just use those areas. I'll use these 12 areas to talk about the lessons I learned in this 2022 about myself. And I have a tendency, I really hope that, I really don't know the range of the audience, but I hope that even if I'm judged, I'm judged objectively. And I hope that people also see themselves in my story or not. But for spirituality and personal devotion, I would say that.
Sorry to cut in. So that means it's looking like it's going to be a very long and interesting podcast. So maybe we can do 45 minutes. It's fine.
Okay. No, no worries.
I can give you the whole time because I know that Tolu is always ready to unleash.
I am. I actually am.
When I listen to your episode, I'm like, Tolu.
I actually am
steady bringing up different things, and you can keep me engaged like that. You can keep me listening. I'm telling you, from the start to the finish. Tolu, like don't understand.
That's such a huge compliment. Thank you. I appreciate it. I actually don't like to leave any information on the table or under the table. Like as much as I can within the confines of privacy and confidentiality, I will share. But I feel like, okay, so I'll say some other things. So I don't know, okay, people might probably read this ahead of time. To give a context background to my story, when Neme is talking about listening to me, I have a podcast too that shares my story here, how I moved to the US in 2020 during the pandemic. I started my graduate program. I was studying for my master's at Cornell in the US, and then I got a job at Google earlier this year in May. So I've been working for 6 months now. So that's part of my journey. But before then, I attended Communal University in Nigeria. I studied chemical engineering. I finished in 2018. And then I grew up in Port Harcourt, which is where I met the mutual friend Anne. And Naya, you still live in Port Harcourt, Abby?
Yes, I do.
Shout out to all the Port Harcourt fans, all the Port Harcourt people, all your Port Harcourt. What?
You also did chemical engineering with me. I said it's still so amazing how we have like similarities.
Yes, that's true. They study chemical engineering too. So shout out to all the Port Harcourt family here and chemical engineering people here as well. I want to say I'm glad I walked away, but just in case you're still in love with it, no hard feelings. But you know what? Let me stop on the 12 areas. I've shared the 12 areas for anyone who wants to write things down and figure out their 2020. But let me actually look at those notes I've been compiling. I think the first thing I wrote here was, and this would be under the bucket of social relationships and community, where I gave myself a 5 for this year. I feel like I've been able to manage most of my friendships in a good way. I feel like I'm in a good place with most of my friends, even though I'm not a big caller. I prefer to text, but I still feel like I'm up to date with almost all of the friends I have. But one lesson I still learned this year was to be wary of friends who make me feel uncomfortable about my true self. That was my first lesson. And I can't remember where I was when I wrote this, but I probably wrote it because, as Naya mentioned, I can be very boisterous, very full of energy.
Yes.
Yes, I am. I can be. I actually am on most days. I think I was born that way. Even though, but because, in this world and age, and everyone tries to make being an introvert look cool. It's like, oh, I'm an introvert. On Instagram, you see people posting like, introverts, oh, I don't want to be outside. Hello. There are also days I don't want to be outside. And it doesn't make me an introvert, but I found that a lot of times that I would be around people that will always make me feel like I'm too much, I'm too extra. And I always, even when people say things like that, I always try to find the truth in it, to find out, okay, is it actually too much? Or is it just too much for them, So,
yeah.
But at a point, I just found out that because I'm always trying to be quiet on some days, and when I'm not quiet and I come to you or you come to me, it's like, or why is she having an attitude? Why is she in the mood? Meanwhile, I'm trying to be that introvert person you want me to be, or you think you like. And then when you're not asking those questions, I get angry and then it now really looks like I have an attitude issue. So everything will just always
Yes, I guess.
and I'm like, no, I do not like how being around this person makes me feel. I do not like that I can't be my jumpy, happy Tolu self. I mean,
Yes,
there are a lot of
expressive. True.
I can't be as expressive as I want to be, just because I'm scared that this person is going to think that she's too much, or she's too extra, or she's a little too much. And I get those comments too. I get them from time to time, but I'm learning to accept it about myself. Sometimes I'm outside and I'm like always having to catch myself. Oh, don't say everything you're thinking. Oh, don't be too happy. And I'm like, I've come from such a place where I used to be someone who was always sad, always not happy. I used to frown a lot. So why are they trying to take me back there? So that's one lesson I learned, and I'm still learning that I should be wary of people who, like, when I mean be wary, like be aware of them and don't accommodate it. Yes, like even when people make me feel like I'm a little too much, I shouldn't just accept it and try to cover myself. I should still let myself shine. That's what makes me Tolu. And forever and ever, that nobody can take that from me. So I shouldn't take it away from myself. So that's my first lesson for myself in 2022. Yeah. Okay. If you have any questions, let me know as we go. My second lesson was, I don't know how fast to be, but I would say information is powerful. And I'm giving it to you without bucketing it, because truly I want it to be as how I was learning them. And I think it will help me remember where I was in different parts of my life.
Yeah.
So I wrote that information is powerful enough to change your life for the better. And I think I wrote that down because the only reason I believe I'm at Google today is because I had the information of how to get into Google. And when I mean information, of course, everybody has information online to search and do that. But I really had the information. And what do I mean? When I moved to the US, my first Christmas in 2020, I had family friends that lived in Austin, Texas. Shout out to my Auntie Lara and Uncle Kwe. Uncle Kwe is, people mostly know him as Okpeyemi Awoyemi. He's the founder of Jobberman before it was sold and all of that to who it is now in Nigeria. So they were like tech gurus on their own, and I stayed with them. She used to work for Facebook, that is now Meta, and he used to work at Indeed. So, and during Christmas, when we go to see other Nigerians, I would go to the houses of people that they would be like, meet Richard, he works at Microsoft. She works at Google. And then I would go somewhere else and they're like, meet this person, they work at Dell. Sorry. Sorry, that's my speaker. And then you'll be like, meet this other person, they work at Cummins. So there were just, everybody around me was succeeding, basically. And in talking to these people, I begin to find out, this is very attainable. Oh, how do I get in? Even without even asking. And the average Nigerian wants to help their other Nigerian, and they're like, talk to this person. Introduce me to someone who had just interned at Google, and then this and this. And it's not like I was really aspiring there at the time, because I was interested in going into a career of media or communications, or even if I was still going to engineering. Tech did not really feel so attainable because I was coming from oil and gas, so I was still looking for something in manufacturing. But information is powerful, and I found that because I was in spaces that had all these things, and that's why I take my podcast very dearly. I do not like to leave any details. I'm like, if you know it, you can be it, and so, or you can do it. So that's why I always like to share. Even I remember back before I came to this country, if I found any job opportunity, I would share it on my Chem group chat or on my church group chat. People even started thinking I worked in HR. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm just letting you know that these things are available, so you can. So I'm grateful to God for, that's something I learned from my mom, to that information is powerful. And in Port Harcourt, when they kidnap a lot, they could only kidnap you your location. So that's where my mom started that information is powerful. She'll be like, don't let the driver know where we're coming or where we're going. So don't let them know, because they can carry it. So, but eventually I'm still and again in my life that for me having the right information. So I always go looking for, what is attainable out there, what is available, what can I do? If I think of something, I do not shut it down. Like if I want it, there's information about it on how to get it. So that's my second lesson.
So
I'll try to, yeah.
So when I said that looks like we have similarities.
Yeah.
I don't take those words back for any reason, because from your first to your second line, I can totally relate.
Yeah.
There's some days when maybe I'm not so, I will not say noisy, but maybe I'm not really the guy for like, just gisting or talking. And they're like, Annie, are you okay? You're not looking like I say, I don't understand. So I cannot be quiet again. Like, can't I be, And it's so they take maybe when I don't just feel like speaking, they think I'm maybe down or something is wrong with me. You understand? So but that's not really your own part, but I'm just saying that this is also what I face. Though your own is a different case, because they always want you, they always feel that you're the extra kind of person, and maybe to their own, but them, they don't always want that kind of pressure around them. But that's a different case. Then secondly, you spoke about information being powerful, and I can totally relate to that. When I got my second internship where I'm currently at, it was because of information too. I had to like message someone and say, okay, sorry, so I heard you intern here, so how did you get, just knowing the right people, they will lead you to the right network, the right connection, the right information source, and once you tap in correctly, you just get in. So I can totally relate to the fact that information is power. You just need to know the right people to meet the right connection, and if you follow accordingly, you definitely get in. So that's also a good one.
Yeah, thank you. And then this third one, for I remember this is from the scripture of Ecclesiastes 9, I think, if I remember correctly. My third lesson was time and chance happeneth to them all. And I think for me to have written it here, it had to do with I'm sure it had to do with my job journey, my Google search. And I mean, probably a lot of people think I had it easy. Maybe I did, but it didn't come without struggles of its own. And the only mean I had it easy because in less than 2 years, I'm working at a good company, because there are people who have been also here for 5-6 years, and even if they've been working not at the best companies, and it still feels like they're hustling to get to where I'm, it looks like I am today. So, but I'm aware that they have also, one day I was just thanking God, just being really grateful, and then he reminded me of my college undergrad days. Of certain sacrifices that I also made that people might not be aware of, in prayer, in worship, in giving, in service, in duty, all of those things. And he reminded me even of his promises to me. And so now it might look like these are seeds that have been sowed long ago that are now reaping in what everybody can see. So even if I got a job somewhere else, I will still look back and say it was still God. But I think he did it in a way that everybody had to know that, okay, this was God. It was, so I still feel like, but at the end of it, it's still a lesson I have learned, that time and chance happens to them all, because I could be in positions that would not have allowed me flourish like this to this point. And that's why I think that scripture says, the battle is not to the strongest, something not to the, like, just because you have a university education doesn't mean you will succeed in life. It was literally like that in the NLT version. Just because you sow doesn't mean you will reap, but time and chance happen to them all. So as much as I know them, I still have been a part of sowing and reaping. I still feel like time and chance, God has put me in the right place at the right time for the right reasons. When I joined my team, just weeks after, there was a hiring freeze in the US, and people in Nigeria might not have heard about it, but there was a hiring freeze across all tech companies because of the inflation and economic downturn. So if just by any chance I had graduated much later or had come to the US much later, I probably won't be where I am Google today. I probably won't have made the job the time I got in. I probably won't have made it at that time. So I'm grateful for being at the right place at the right time. And I believe that that's something we can always pray to God about, being at the right place at the right time. Growing up, I've always been, even if you check my secondary school slum book, I always used to say that I always wanted to work in purpose. I didn't know how, but I just knew that I never wanted to be doing what I was not supposed to be doing. So I'm grateful to God that I am where I am today, and I still feel like there's a long way to go. And there's no guarantee that this is even part. Okay, of course, it's part of His purpose and plans for me, but I believe this is not the final stop. Anyway, that was another important lesson. I can wrap it up to 5 or 6 or 7.
Okay.
But that's the third one now. And let's see. Another favorite one I have is not everyone wishes you well. And I saw that a lot.
Not everyone will do what?
Not everyone wishes you well.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, not everyone wishes you well. And
exactly.
Just because I mean, I don't even think I've seen it in the full extent, but sometimes I know I talk to certain people and you can feel the demon of envy talking to you.
True.
I'm not
you can.
I can feel it. So let me not do too much. I'm serious. Like I would tell, and it was weird to me because
they don't have to say, but you can just feel it.
Yes, you can exactly. Like even if you don't know me, I'm sure just by this few minutes I've been talking, I have no evil in my heart. Like I'm talking to you, wishing you the best of luck in everything. Like I'm so passionately happy for you, rooting for you. And then I think you're doing the same, and I share my story, and it feels like I'm doing something, like I offended you, and I'm like, this didn't feel right. This response didn't feel right. I mean, these days, it's not like people that we know can go and do juju against us. And juju is, in English terms, what would I call that in common? That's Nigerian common parlance for wrongdoing. Someone can do evil to you, basically, based on the traditional powers they have. I don't know how much more context to give. Maybe Naya can help with that. But I don't think people nowadays. Yeah. Exactly. I don't think people. I can't. Let me not speak for everyone, but I don't believe that people can undo me. The kind of friends I tell these things to can undo me. But when people don't wish you well, I still believe. My mom would say thoughts are like arrows. I remember she said, "I love someone is thinking evil about you, like." Thoughts are like arrows, and that she would tell us always be good, so that just in case they take your name to a babalawo or to a herbal doctor, and she was saying it because she knows people who, she's a prayer warrior, so she probably knows. She says that when they take your name to these herbal doctors or to these bad people, the bad person will ask them, what did they do to offend you? And if they can't say what they did to offend you, then they will tell you whatever they try to do will not work. And my mom always thought that's why it's good to follow peace with all men. So that even if you offend someone just by succeeding and they take your name, they can't do anything with it. So most times they go back and tell them they should go and do something to you that will make you respond, so that you cannot come back and say, see what they did to me. And then they will now say, okay, take this and go on, So I mean, and I believed her. I actually did believe her. So I still believe my mom. So not everyone wishes you well. And now I know that. So now I know who to share my stuff with. And even if I still share it with you, I know how to manage the information. I know how to say it carelessly.
You know to what extent you should share and what not.
Exactly. And even when you share, like I know that when I didn't still have a job and people tell me, oh, I got this job somewhere, they're paying me $250,000 or this. Like I never would think less of myself or be like, look at them, God, why them none on me? I still knew my own was coming. It was just like, how long was I willing to wait for it? That's just always the attitude I kept. Like, how long will it take, God? But I know mine is coming. I know you will still do something.
That's why the whole time and chance happens to them all. Exactly. So it's just a matter of time.
Yes. It's only a matter of time. Let me not start sounding like our Nigerian people, but like when God comes late, it comes big. But like God's time is the best and all that. But yeah, it is true. So not everyone wishes you well. And now I've accepted it. It's sad because even your best of friends could be those people, but it's sad. And that brings me to my fourth lesson of fifth, that adulthood friendships are hard.
That one, Tolu. It's like we're going to sleep here today. But because this one, I'm still trying to, get like in fact, I don't even know how to even qualify or quantify myself and my friendship. I don't even know if I actually have. I don't know if maybe I've been a good friend to them. But I don't know why this whole friendship thing. I really admire people that have good friendship. Like they have it all together with their friendship. I really admire. I'm like, God, I don't know when and how I'm going to have this kind of friends around me. You know, friends that have like different categories. Both the one that spiritual, you know, different friends have like they are there for different reasons. So if you have any spiritual issue, or maybe anything that you want to work on spiritually, you know who to meet. Academically, you know who to meet, but they are all there for different reasons, and you're also exchanging value. So it's like you're also assisting them, and they're also assisting you. So it's like is it mutual? Yes. Yes, so it's not like a one-sided thing. But I don't know if I've been so good with this friendship thing. I don't know how to even go about it. But let's say your story.
What was your biggest challenge in friendships? Yeah.
Maintaining friendship. Because I have a lot of, if it's making network, you know, getting to meet people, I love meeting people. Hello, like if it's that one, A1, you know, so I can get into somewhere, maybe after a while, if I've gotten maybe used to the environment, I can easily come out and start up a conversation, and we just, you know, go on and on. Fine, exchanging contacts, exchanging social media handles, and we just, you know, get talking. So, but my problem is after a while, I just feel like, I don't know, but I just don't want to continue the whole. I'm just so tired. So it's consistency for me, how to maintain them. Is it that at some point I'm not feeling the energy? Maybe their values are not aligned to my own values, or their personality is not just my, you know, who I want to be in my space. And then somehow I just start pulling back. I don't just want to really, it's not like that first time when we met. You know, that first time meeting now, both girls and guys meeting, you always want to talk to the person. How far, like people always want to just, today this one happened. After a while, you're just like tired. You don't even know. But maybe is it that I'm not meeting the right people, or is it from me? Maybe I'm not, you know, because they always say it's not just about the people. It's not just about making friends. It's about you too being friends with those people. So I'm questioning myself. Is it that maybe I'm not a good friend? So, and I really want 2023 to be a year where I'm going to find good friendships, like friendships that will be there for you through thick and thin. Like when I mean good friendship, you know how Choma Chukwudema, those 4 people, or even better than, so like how, you know, close they are, even though there'll be fights anyways, but we're still able to stay within our circle and just support each other. Even DDK, I think she also has a strong power circle. DDK, Debola, she's the host of this Future Forward Immerse Inner Circle. I was in one of her trainings, one of the cycles. I know the name. Yeah,
you said
just a lot.
Yes, you said a couple of things. I think first of all, you said is it me or is it them? I mean, you need to say it, but I still think it's us. I feel like if we're not doing well emotionally or mentally, we really can't afford to handle our friendships. It's like I've never, and that's why till tomorrow I hate it when people tell me you haven't checked up on me. I'm like, what did you check up on me? Just because you expect me to be the happier one doesn't mean, you know. So it's a lot. So I feel like even why I think I remember why I wrote adulthood friendships are hard is because I'm trying to tell you that I'm not a texter, I'm not a caller. I do not have time to sit and call you. And I've also tried to stop the bad habit of calling and doing something else on my laptop. I'm always on my laptop. I'm always like, there's just always something to do. So I remember I would call some friends when I'm cooking or when this is at a time where I can't do any other thing. So it's like, okay, let me call you while I'm cooking or while I'm washing or while I'm folding my clothes. To me, that is me sacrificing my personal, like when I do all those things, I like to watch TV and I still chose you first, but you can't see it. You feel like, well, I'm always calling you when I cook. I'm always calling you. I've had a few friends tell me that. And I still understand the sentiments too, because it's also like, Why can't you call me at another time? But that's me where you are, and I think you should do the same. I've also had friends too that tell me, I tried calling, you didn't pick, you never return my calls, and I'm like, that's why I texted you. Can you text me back? I still, at least, I try to meet you where I am, but I've also had a few places really offended people by telling them, well, I don't have the time, because it's like everybody too is busy. You shouldn't never say I was busy. I've learned to stop saying that, because trust me, is it work? Them to their working. Is it school? Them to their schooling. Even though they don't have a podcast like me, there's something else they're doing. So in all of that, I've learned to just make sure that I'm doing okay, because I noticed that when I am okay, I'm in my best mood, it doesn't even take anything. I always want to remember to call my friends. And that's, to be honest, that's true. That being busy is an actual excuse. Even if it's true, it is an excuse. Because I find out that there's some Sundays where I'm in a good mood. Sundays are usually like my favorite time of the week, or they're downtimes for me. And I haven't called this person in a while. And I call them. Why didn't I say I'm going to text them? It's because I'm actually in such a good mood. I'm thinking about them. So first things I would say, it's better to take care of yourself first. And when you're okay, I think it will come, handling your friendships will come naturally to you. I also did a podcast on how to make friends, and I think put yourself out there. I did list every single thing I did to make the good friends I have today in the US. And that was just me being Tolu. Like I said, I still think I was born that way, but I feel like people can still work on it. And you have to spend money to do in friendships. I mean, spend money, not like a lot. I'm used to giving gifts because that's how I also grew up. That's how I express love. And I feel like if gift is not expensive enough, it means like you didn't value the person enough. Although that's something I also want to stop the next year when I talk about money and finances. I feel like whether or not I give you an expensive gift, it doesn't reduce the quality of our friendship. I used to think that the more expensive the gift, the more it is that you say I value you, and hopefully you also value a relationship. But I've also found out that it doesn't work that way. Like, people do not value me because, I mean, maybe they do, but if they do, they didn't tell me. So I don't know. And I still feel like I see people with less having more wholesome friendships. So what am I trying to prove? So although you will spend money, you will spend time. We just talked about spending time. That you would also spend what do I want to say? Let's say emotions. Like, you shouldn't be afraid to fight for your relationships or even in your relationships. Some people, I see that some people would like to keep things sweet. It's like, my friend literally did something to me. I disagree with what she's saying, but because I don't want us to fight, I can't say it. No, I will tell you. Like, I will say it. Most times it never comes out right. But it's on you to also tell me, I don't like how you spoke to me. But like I said, not everyone is that open. That's also something I'm learning too. Like,
yes.
I should respect people. As much as I want people to respect my personality type, I should also respect other people's personality type. I'm always thinking that if you're an introvert, speak up for yourself. Like, stop expecting me, like, I offended you and you expect me to know. Because if it's me, I will tell you. I don't expect that from the other person. So that's also
assuming that Tolu should know that she hurts me, you understand? So that's where communication comes in. If you don't communicate properly, how do you, like, am I the Holy Spirit? How am I supposed to know? Like, do you get?
Exactly. And even when the Holy Spirit does prompt you, that's something I've had a couple of my friends where I know I said something wrong and they didn't say anything, and I felt it to go back and apologize, and it worked out. So you really have to let go of yourself. These friendships I'm mostly talking about are even girl friendships, which is whatever it's still hard. I don't really have a lot of guy friends, but I mean, I have a lot of acquaintances, I have a lot of guys and all that. So we just that is safe to keep sweet, don't ruffle any feathers, and also genuinely care about your friends. They can see it, and that's what I was trying to say about those expensive gifts. I really wanted them to know that I genuinely care, not because I could afford it. I mean, and also because that's what I would do for myself. It was just me showing that that's how much I value you, right? So genuinely care for them. And I think if you even show it 1 out of 365 days, that's enough to keep your friendship going. Honestly, that's enough for them to know that you have them no matter what. And I think that speaks true to a lot of relationships I have today. Anyway, I think last but not the least, so there's this. Okay, maybe 2 more.
So sorry, but before you go on, speaking of the friendship, I also noticed that you've really been, let's say, should I say very lucky with friends, because I see them from your post. I'm like, God,
Yeah.
it's like Tolu has very, very good friends around her corner.
Yeah,
So
I
how?
do. I do.
So you're saying that all these things you've mentioned, that's how you've been able to sustain them, maintain them.
Yeah. Yes, making out time for them, like being able to
Even
apologize.
when it's not convenient, you just
Like,
like
of
that's
course,
sacrifice.
it's never convenient. There's
Convenient.
so many times that someone says something to me. Like, even if you also follow my Instagram, you would see that I travel. Okay, not like I travel a lot, but like when I go to a city, I make sure to see my friends in that city. That costs money that I don't even budget for. Like I can just go and in going to visit someone. I'm also trained not to go empty. That costs money. So like putting in that work, although most times it always feels unreturned, unappreciated, but I still feel inside that those people still value me, because like I feel like why I'm also able to keep these friends is because I attracted how do you say it? You attract something that you like. So it's like because you're a good person, you attract good people. I think that's also part of it.
Your vibe attracts or something.
Exactly. And in being open, when sometimes you extend the first good hand, other people are like, oh wow, I didn't even know that I had this. Somebody could do this. And then they also extend their own good hand. And even me, I'm like, wow, I didn't know, because I have a friend that I always say that nobody shows me kindness the way she shows me. And because of that, I even want to do more good things for her. So someone has to be willing to. One good turn really does deserve another. And I think as the more you see how your friends are showing up for you, you also want to show up for them. Even during my graduation, you see that my friends flew in from Texas. One even missed his flight, but he was still there. Like someone drove from New Jersey to come meet me in New York from Texas. Like the sacrifice. And these are things you can't pay back. Even if I say I want to pay you back your flight money, it's still going to finish in less than 1 month. These are not things you can pay. So
yes.
So I feel like one good turn deserves another. So maybe I shouldn't say I don't feel valued enough, because people don't have to spend money to show me value, right? But times is right. Like there are certain things your friends will do for you, you will do for them, that this person knows that I'm going to show up for her. Like Black people say here, African Americans, like if I kill somebody, would you bury the body or report me to the police? Your friendship has to be that deep. So like there's just some people you see and be like, I'll bury the body for you. No, please, I beg, but please, I won't. Please, if not, let all of us just die together, because we can't go to jail. Or we all go to jail together. Anyway, but yeah. So yes. But yeah, I would encourage anyone to listen to that podcast too, on how to genuinely make friends, how to keep them, how to don't have to have such a boisterous personality, but there are certain ways you would show love to people in the way I know how to show love with gifts or acts of service. Some people will spend, I don't really know how to spend quality times. Like I'm always hopping around, but if you're the kind that knows how to sit with someone, be with them, watch movies with them, do all those things, then do that. If yours is hugging, physical touch, do that. If it's serving them, cooking for them, then do that, to guys or to girls or to both. Yeah. Last but not the least, I know I feel like I'm taking so much time.
No, it's fine.
I keep seeing so many good ones. Okay, I'll do 2 in 1.
Okay.
Okay. I think I've kind of talked on this where I was talking about not everyone wishes you well. Like there's some people you see around you, this person is a bad person, but you're like, oh, because I'm a good person, it won't affect. Like I won't let the relationship go to the point where they can do something to me. I read something recently about something called the frog and the scorpion fable, where this frog was going to cross from one point of the ocean to the other ocean, and then the scorpion was like, please help me to the other side of the ocean, I can't swim. And then the frog was like, if I carry you, you will sting me. But anyway, I know that I'm doing you a good, so you wouldn't do me bad. But because the scorpion is a scorpion, it's in its nature to sting. Whether or not it still stung the frog, and if both of them drowned. So I think it's like still there's some people that you feel, oh, I'm trying to extend the love of Jesus to them, let me be nice. But if you already know that's their true nature, I'm telling you, even as Christians, there's still some people that they're wicked. There's not like
it's in their blood.
God is still changing. They have not gotten there yet. So
it's just like you saying, I want to change a man. You understand? So
tell me
it's
about that.
almost impossible. You understand?
Exactly.
Just very few people, but it's almost
Exactly.
impossible.
Exactly. And I know that I can be a frog in so many situations. So I'm aware that even if I've had my scorpion days, but now I'm aware that this person looks like, don't extend this friendship to them. I should also learn to say no to friendships because they come into my life and they turn it upside down. What am I going to do? So let everyone just be at bay. If you can't cross over to the other side of the ocean, I pray God sends you a boat, but I'm not the one for you, and all of that. So I think I still touched on that. Then one more. There's something I saw here that people always look out for themselves before they look out for you. I mean, I feel like I'm pulling out all the bad ones, but but these are lessons I learned because they really hurt me. It's like I'm looking out for this person, but they're not even thinking about me. Or even if they're thinking about me, I'm not still top of mind. So it's also even come back to the frog and scorpion. Like as much as I'm wanting to do good for everybody, not everybody is like they can do good for me, but they're not going to kill themselves to do it for me. So I should learn when to stop. Because honestly, although I know the Bible tells us never be weary in well doing, for one day you will repeat. But man, that reaping, I shouldn't say that because I also believe in casting your bread upon many waters. For many days after you will find it. So, but there's sometimes it's just like, please, when am I going to reap this yet? Because all this good I'm doing, I do not see it. I shouldn't even say that because I mean, look at me. I have a good job now. I'm able to now. I mean, I'm not sick. I'm doing well health-wise. Like, I recently went to go and see the dentist. That day, I even videoed myself. I said, look at me sitting on the dentist chair. I'm sure in Nigeria, I probably did it like once or twice, but it felt different. So I'm really grateful to God. So I shouldn't say that. But there are just some days it feels tiring when you're giving, and you're not receiving.
Yes. True.
Anyway, and last one for me, my best was God won. One thing I know, and this is from Maverick City song. One thing I know, one thing I found is that God will work it out. Always, 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 always. I found that out even I don't think I've passed through so many storms in life, but for the few, I found out that when I hold on to God, He always shows up. When I trust Him, when I put my trust in Him, when He sees me, I also call myself a woman of faith. I feel like that might be my gift. One of those gifts Paul talked about. I think that's mine. So I'm also going to Nigeria for my sister's getting married, whoop whoop. And going home as a student here is very tricky because if you don't have a visa to come back in, you're stuck. And I was like, I'm not going to go. I told my sister, I don't think I want to risk it. There's something just prompted me that since when did you start depending on yourself for what you want? Like since when did you start? Usually, if I wanted something, I would just tell God. Even shoes, as much as they are trivial, when I was younger and my mom is like, I can't get you that shoe, I will go and pray. And I don't mean to sound very religious or but I'm serious. There were times where if someone told me no, and that's also because I am actually a very perseverant person and persistent. But if I can't get it physically, how else can I get it? And I talk to God. I'm not that God is an ATM machine or anything, but it's like I already feel like I have that relationship with Him to be able to ask Him that, okay, I really want this, and they say I couldn't get it on earth. Okay, how can I get it from the heavens down here? So, trust in Him that He will work it out, even when you don't have the faith to do it. If you hear my own job story too, there were days I was so doubtful, like it was going to slip through my mind, but I held on. I said, God, if I can't, it's like that faith pushes God to say, okay, she really now knows that I'm her be all and all. So it's like she already knows that there's no plan B. You are my plan A to Z,
Yes. Only
exactly. So yes, God will work it out. Even for days you can't even see it. I still believe because He created us, because He loves us so much. At the end of the day, He always settles us for the plans He has for us, and are not able to take us to the expected end.
Exactly.
So, those are my major highlights from the year of 2022, and I'm hoping to take some of this into 2023, refine them, make them better, become a better person. At 2023 now, I'll be even giving relationship advice, finance advice, everything. Hopefully. So thank you very much, Naya, for having me today.
Okay, no problem. So did you really speak on the finance aspects? I thought maybe I'll be hearing more of managing your finance.
Girl, I would give that advice, but I'm looking for the advice as well. I'm doing badly with it. Like I told you, I feel like this year, I mean, yes, we all know the save here, 10% tithe, 20% savings,
Mm.
30% spending. That's 80% and 20% investment. Like I try to follow it, trust me, but I don't think I'm doing the best of it. But like I said, information is power. And these
Mm.
days, people too are talking. When people tell me, "Oh, I'm trying to buy a house. I'm trying to save for a house," and I ask, "Oh, what does it take?" They're like, "Oh, you need to do this and do this." So now I'm becoming more aware of how I can get to that point. So I'm still gathering that information of what better things to do with my money, and that's something I plan. That's part of the stock I plan to take for next year, to have a more stringent budget. To, as much as I've said, I want to stop
Work
investing in my
accordingly.
Exactly. Even when I want to invest in my friendship, maybe next year I'm going to choose time, or I'm going to choose
Mm.
something instead of gifts. So those are kind of things I'm trying to look at.
Oh,
How can I keep more money for myself, for my future, instead of investing it in people all the time? I feel like now I've done that. That's on hold. Okay, what next? Even in myself, how can I? Because even when I look back at all the money I spend, mostly on people, on my own self, what have I done? What am I?
mm.
So I'm still. I'm still learning, so I can't talk on it. So, but yeah, those are plenty of things I plan to plan for 2023. So yeah, but if anyone has any advice, please find me
Yeah.
and give it to me. Thank you.
Oh yeah, so it's just that I featured Frank Samuel on this same topic, how to manage your finance as a young person. So it
Oh,
should be out by next year, yes.
okay,
It should be
thank you.
out by next year. So once it's out, I'll just let you know.
Yeah, and what's the like? Is he working as well? Is he in school, or like from what angle is he giving the advice from?
Oh, as a financial coach. He's done with
Oh,
school.
okay.
He's one of the popular guys in PSF.
Okay.
Yes, Frank
Oh,
Samuel.
okay, the coach. That's nice. Okay. Okay, okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes. He's a
Nice, nice,
financial
nice.
coach. Yes. So he's good. He has had like good track records. He's good.
Mhm. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Nia. Thank you for all this hard
So
work.
I really would confirm or affirm. Is it confirm or affirm? What's the grammar? Whatever. But I really support the motion of that the God factor part in what um the
God working
last
it. Yeah.
line you spoke about, which is God factor. It's really
Mhm.
true. Some people they think that I don't know. You know how you just say, okay, God, please, I want this today, and they just take it like a joke. Because when I don't like, why are you telling God you want to buy shoe? Why are you telling me you want to buy this? It sounds somehow. But those little things, you'll be shocked at how God will just make it come to like make it a
Yes.
reality for you. You understand? So that's what people should really understand, that it doesn't have to be very, very great things. Oh God, I want a car like this, I want a house in Banana Island, those very heavy things, those very big things. Even the littlest things. God said that ask anything in my name and I will do for you. Even the littlest things, he's always ready to do, but just make up your mind and have that faith. Another thing that some people don't believe, and something that worked for me this year is, that time now when they always say, if you think it, you can be it. Dream it, you can be it. So, but always think it is one of all these aspire to aspire kind of quotes, but it's not.
But
It's not an
I also
aspire
believe the
to
mind
aspire.
is more powerful than the brain. So I do believe it's
Exactly.
about
And
it.
it's
Even
something that has
the brain.
worked for me. I'm like, you see this mind there? I said, mind is powered by life. The life is powered by the mind.
By your mind. Yeah, I agree. I
Exactly.
definitely agree.
Everything that you
I
can
left that lesson a
conceive,
long time ago, but definitely, yeah.
as far as you have made up your mind and say, I will do this thing, even if it's not even looking like it, but there's a way that the world, and things will just start aligning because you have made that decision. So there must be a part or a place for decision and mindset making. If you don't make up your mind to do these things, if you don't tell yourself that I can do this, I can do this, no matter how it's looking like it's not possible, but at least just have that little faith. Even God said, even if you have a tiniest faith like a mustard seed, that you cause the mountains to move. You can say to this mountain move, and the mountain will actually move. So it's just also relaying to the importance of mindset. Even the littlest, as far as you have told yourself, I will do this, it will actually help, and you work towards it, because it's not just them saying, in the next 2 years I'm going to drive events, I'm going to work in Google, I'm going to work in, was that your friend's company, McKinsey?
Yes, consulting company. Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to tell yourself that, and then try to work accordingly.
Yeah.
With God, that as our major source, and then hard work. Yes. So if you were to describe 2022, what word would you describe 2022 with?
How many words?
Maybe 3 words.
I'll think about that. 3 words. I would say I would say 2.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Or 4. I would say it was a year of answered prayers and promises fulfilled. So that was it for me. Yeah. That was my 2022.
You will say, look at me now. Look at us now.
Trust me. Oh, yes. That is my mantra.
Your podcast there.
Every small thing someone tells me.
Look at us now.
Any small thing someone tells me, if you like, tell me, oh, you look like shit back in the day. You look like this back. I say, look at me now.
Look at me now. I'm telling you.
I say, look at me now. Yeah, anything he wants to say, like, excuse my French, oh God, I beg. But yeah, answered prayers and promises fulfilled. That was my year. I think 2021 was mostly purpose, and then this, and I'm hoping that 2023 is the year of growth for me, and like radical growth. That's my own personal goal. I mean, I'm still going to wait on God for what He is for me, but like that one, I need to see evident growth. That's the right word. But yeah, that was 2022 for me. Thank God. All glory to God.
Wow, thank you so much. So wrapping up this podcast, what's 3 things will you advise or tell someone to start out right in the year 2023? What 3 major things will you tell, maybe if you're a TEDx speaker now, what 3 major things will you tell someone to get involved with, or start out her year or his year rightly with?
Oh God. Okay. I really promise you that I'm looking for those answers. But I think I would say the 3 things I'm also looking to do for myself. And I already mentioned that I've already been taking stock. So do that. So yeah, as vulnerable as they might sound, when I was tagging my spiritual and personal devotion, I tagged the 0/5. I'm sorry. Like even in a year where even in a year where it felt like God was with me every step of the way, I don't think that I was as devoted to Him as I should have been. And I could say 1, yes, for days I said some prayers, for days I looked at my Bible, for days I attended church. But between me and Him, I know that I should be miles ahead in my own spiritual journey. I know I have an every journey. I'm aware that my career is not the same. Like I think that everything is dependent on my spiritual journey. But now I really understand why non-Christians can succeed if I just put in the work. But
just principles, basic principles.
Principles. But at the same time, I still feel like I need God to be a better version of myself, to be to fulfill the assignments that He really brought me here to do. Like all this is nice and good, but you just still know when you feel like it's still empty. Like what's that Solomon said? I'll be easy, David, like vanity upon vanity sometimes,
Yes.
But yeah, so that advice is one I'm giving myself. Like I give that advice to myself every beginning of the year, honestly. But it's getting harder and harder to take as life goes on. So God willing, God, you see that I'm basically crying from my heart that by next year, whatever that is going to stop my devotion to you, take it away from me. I honestly, like, how bad it is, like whatever it is, So honestly, so that's an advice for me, that if it applies to you, if you're in a perfect standing, fine, I'm happy for you, I want to be you someday. But if you're not, that's me. Take my spiritual and personal ambition seriously. And the second thing for me I'm taking into next year is my health and fitness. So since the pandemic, it might not really apply to me, because I figured that when I was in Nigeria, I was actually much slimmer and I was always out and about. So there was no really space to just gain weight. Here I work from home twice out of 5 days a week, sometimes even 5 out of 5 days. The food here is actually different. Like, even when you're not eating too much, it still feels like a lot of calories. I don't know how to explain it. People who are here will understand. So, and in that journey, it's not just because I'm not confident with how I look right now. Maybe I am now, 8/10. But I feel like if I take on that journey, it will teach me discipline. So that's something I want to. Although during my medical checkup, like, they've told me I'm very good health-wise, everything is okay, but I can still feel it that I need to do something. So
I understand.
Exactly. I need to get rid of my pandemic weight, my everything. I feel like going on that journey will teach me a lot about myself. It teach me a lot about discipline, because I find that in every other area of my life, if I want something, I try to get it. But that particular one, even as much as I want it, I still see that I'm not being able to get it. Like, I still tell myself dreaming is not for me, and those are just lies.
Same partner, my sister.
So
I'm even going to the gym, but I'm still feeling like, am I even losing any weight at all? Because
that's how it is. It's like
discipline is key, to be honest.
Trust me, and I'm ready to invest money. I plan to get a personal trainer. So whatever it is, I can do. And that's only because now I'm earning money. Before, if I was not earning money, when I was not earning money, I had a timetable on my. I remember at the year when I lost only 5 kg. I set out to like 15, but I only lost 5. But it was because I was what was I doing? I was doing a lot of portioning control. I would eat 3 times a day so that my metabolism could adjust. I was doing everything I could try to be doing. There was other days I would go on treadmill and run, So that's why I gave myself a 1/5, because I did try some things, but I didn't follow through. So that's what happened into 2023. And last but not least, I hope to die empty. I mean, that's a long-term goal, but I believe that if I go in with it in 2023, it will help. It will give me perspective. There are a lot of other things I still feel like I'm supposed to be doing as an individual, for God, for humanity. But I don't have the boldness yet to. But if I live with the fact that I could die tomorrow and I'm not dying empty, maybe to help push me. It's very radical though, but it's something I wrote down as a lesson for this year that I didn't share. But for next year, I want to go into it with that mentality to die empty, to do as much as I can next year. Like, that would even show me I have done. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what that's around. So yeah, those are my 3.
Yeah, so it doesn't be like those stories that we heard where they said the grave is the richest
place
part of something like place where you see people that couldn't use their talents or their gifts, while they were still alive. So that's a very good point too.
So I should write. Okay, I think I have that down. But yeah, those are my major 3 things for next year as a person individually. So
that's very good and inspiring. Thank you so much, Tolu.
No, thank you. Thank you so
when
much.
You're going to come to. I don't know when I'm going to get to meet you in person. If you come to Nigeria, I don't know, maybe Lagos or Port Harcourt. But I really need to have a physical meetup with you. I don't know how.
That's nice. And if you ever come to the US too, I'm here. I'm in New York, right? And
Amen.
Yes, amen, girl. Dream. I mean, if you want it, even if you don't want it, it's fine. From Lagos, if I don't know, I'll bring you to Port Harcourt again. But if I'm there, yes, I'll let you know. Thank you so much for having me. I do not take it for granted. You can see me. People might not see me, but I'm all dressed up for you guys. I thought this was video and audio. So I haven't put perfume, so I can be feeling like I'm on air, like I'm live and I'm giving this gist hot. But I'm still grateful. Thank you so much, Naya. My regards to Nazar, right?
Oh yes.